Hey, I just want to do a quick message about true sidereal human design because the last few days have been kind of intense and so on, and I've been getting messages about it. So here's this response that I just wrote to someone asking my stance on it. I started with the assumption TSHD is a mistake, since Richard is a third line manifester. I know it sounds mean, but I've just found too many manifestors who really, really want to have a big impact on the world. I was also surprised to discover around 4 or 5 years ago, this is when I discovered it, that the human design system incorporates sidereal zodiac and the precession of the equinoxes already. And I've been studying it since then. So I've had about 5 years of studying the sidereal interactions with human design. This is through global cycles. I didn't mention that because this is to somebody who... Okay. My impression of Richard was simply that he was totally misguided and did not understand the human design system and likely did not even know about the sidereal calculations already used in the system in the global cycles material. I then discovered that I was right after all, which was a grim realization and one that just kind of made me feel sad all around. It's hard because I had a vested interest in him being wrong, I guess you could say, since I've done hundreds of readings with the tropical zodiac. With the conventional human design system. I mean, I don't even call it the tropical zodiac. The whole idea of a tropical zodiac is an astrological idea, but the equivalent of the tropical zodiac, we could say, which is the 64 gates that are fixed to the annual cycle. So it's hard because I've done hundreds of readings with the tropical zodiac. At the same time, they work. It works. And I'm constantly refining my technique and so on. So for Richard to come out and say every calculation is wrong, well, he's backpedaled on it now. He's tried to say it's a multidimensional thing. But I have no idea what that word even means. I live in this dimension. So, I mean, maybe this will just kind of clear up my stance on it. And, then I was disturbed to discover that I was told that he was a conspiracy theorist. And I don't want to go into that because I don't have enough information on it, but I'll just say that I asked the question. I just asked, I heard I got a troubling message today and so on, and I asked for more details, but basically it's, I tagged him and I asked in the Cosmic Human Design group if there's any validity to the claim that he was promoting conspiracy theories because, he had kind of said something in our interview last week that kind of threw me off, which was that maybe it almost seemed to imply that the tropical zodiac itself was part of a matrix or I don't really have the words for it, but basically it seemed to me like he had some conspiratorial idea that the tropical zodiac itself was like this lie perpetrated to keep people enslaved or something. And I think it's people who misunderstand how the program works because the tropical zodiac is, sort of the equivalent to the program. And so if you understand the program, and how it works at, filtering neutrinos and this kind of very finite amount of stories that can be juxtaposed and played with and so on. And it's like there's the infinite, what seems to be the infinite within the finite, but it really is finite when you look at the wheel and so on. And so I think that, maybe Richard just misunderstands the nature of the wheel and how the program works, and he's thinking that by doing this so-called true sidereal, by rotating the wheel, but he's made a lot of false claims. He said that he modified, or at least I've heard that he modified, or he kind of led people to believe that he's modified the widths of the signs, so to speak, or the divisions of the ecliptic, however you want to call it. I mean, he clarified it last week, so I don't want to hold this against him too much, but I guess it's just an indication of the lack of information out there. The fact that recently, as of this day, on the Cosmic Human Design Facebook group, there were people who still did not understand. And even yesterday and the day before, he was answering questions. People were saying, could you tell me the true sidereal widths of the signs, where Scorpio is 6 degrees and so on? And he said, oh yeah, I can provide that information for you. But what he's not saying is that he's not using it. He's keeping the widths at 30 degrees, or he's keeping that, He's not adjusting. It's not like the gates that would normally be in Scorpio, suddenly the sun passes through each gate in a day. No, the sun still takes 5.7 days to go through each gate because he hasn't adjusted the sizes of the gates whatsoever. He simply rotated the whole thing by 31 degrees. So the whole idea is preposterous. It does not work. It's caused a lot of problems. You can do a thought experiment yourself. Just imagine that you thought you found something and then didn't take enough time to verify it and didn't inform people that you hadn't taken enough time to verify it. And you thought you discovered something. Now let's just imagine that the thing you thought you discovered is that, say, time zones are calculated wrong. So you realize that every chart needs to be adjusted by an hour, or only certain charts do. This is actually what John from Genetic Matrix realized. Also a manifestor, also, I think, is he a 1-3 or something? Yeah, the third line. No, I'm doing a YouTube stream. So welcome to the Manifesting Generator on our YouTube stream, if you'd like to. Okay.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey guys.
Yeah, I was actually reading for a thing. So,
MG here.
But you'll be on there. Yeah, you are. MG Life. All right. Yeah, and so, it was a classic 3420 MG. Absolutely classic. We've been talking so much about, how anything can be happening and there's just this impulse to interrupt. Which, of course, the true self of the MG waits to respond, but we're not going to go there. Yeah, it tends to be easier to recognize people by the not self than by the potential, sadly, in this world. But in any case, he's, I think, with John from Genetic Matrix, also a third line. The mistake that he made with calculating, this was a couple years ago now, he calculated some times wrong for time zones. So it still to this day results in wrong times on Genetic Matrix. And, John's a manifestor. I don't remember his profile, so I don't want to be on record about that. But in any case, he didn't really inform people that it was his own weird, idiosyncratic way of calculating time zones nobody agrees with, which, when I pressed him on it, was absolutely clear that he had no idea what he was talking about. He was talking about how humans changed the time zone, and he was going to use the natural, real time zone and all this stuff. And it became just sadly obvious that he did not understand how time zones worked. And that's evinced by the fact that you can go on 64 keys, or you can go on, you can use my open source software kit, HD kit, for human design. You can use all of these different independent ways, Jovian Archive and Maya Mechanics, and all the different ways to calculate it. And you come up with the same thing, and then you use his way of calculating, and you come up with a different answer. And he's saying everyone else is wrong. Same exact thing, same story all over again. John from Genetic Matrix being a dumbass manifestor, just saying everything's, everyone else is wrong, and plugging his ears because he has zero responsiveness to this environment because of his fucking dense programming field. Excuse my anger here, but I tried for weeks to explain to him how and why he was wrong, and he was too dense to get it. And you can verify, I know it sounds arrogant, but you can verify 100% of what I'm saying here if you want to. I'm not going to prove it. I'm an undefined ego, and I'm not calling on undefined egos to try to prove people wrong or anything like that. I'm calling on the defined egos to prove it. I don't know that John is a defined ego. I guess I have no way of knowing, in that situation. But if people are going to make a claim that everybody else is wrong, they need to prove it. And just like John from Genetic Matrix did not prove that Jovian Archive calculated charts wrong, such as he still to this day claims, neither has Richard Mason proven that the true sidereal system is not a terrible misunderstanding of, it's literally like taking an arbitrary fixed amount of degrees and just moving it over by that amount. And you will get literally the same result. You will get, some stuff is going to be the same, some stuff's going to be different. You're going to have some synchronistic connections where you go, wow, that's really me. Oh my God. But that feeling of that's really me is the mind. It has nothing to do with the human design experiment. And I'm just really sad that all these people are going to have this sour kind of taste around the human design experiment because of this. I really hope that doesn't happen because it's a beautiful experiment. It's also taught me so much about fractal lines and how information deteriorates, and the entire thing has just been such an experience. I'm banned from Human Design Interactive right now because I posted my interview with Richard the day of, about an hour before I wanted to announce it, and I got banned for that. And this is the impact manifestors have. So, okay, just wanted to clear that up. Thank you all for watching. I hope to do more videos soon, and just for the time being, I just kind of wanted to chime in because there's just been a lot of questions and a lot of back and forth, and I just thought I would help clarify. So thanks for watching.